When you wake up in the morning before the world begins to ask anything of you, before the phone buzzes, the notifications flash, the demands come pouring in, there's a brief, powerful window. In that quiet space, you are more open, more suggestible, more impressionable than any other moment in the day. Your mind is in a transition state, moving from the deep subconscious theta waves of sleep into the conscious beta waves of waking life. And that's where it happens. That's where your identity is either reinforced or rewritten. This is why what you tell yourself every morning matters more than you realize, because you're not just thinking. You're programming, you're not just speaking. You're coding instructions into your nervous system. When you repeat something enough times, your brain wires it in. Your body believes it, and your external world begins to echo it back to you. So when you look in the mirror, what do you say? Not out loud necessarily, but in your mind. What are the first thoughts about yourself, your day, your life? Because if those thoughts are critical, anxious, doubtful, or tired, that sets the tone. That becomes your energetic signature, and from that place it becomes easy to attract more of the same. More doubt, more friction, more resistance. But the shift happens when you decide that the first voice you hear in the morning will be your true voice. The voice of your higher self, the voice that knows who you are beneath all the noise, and that voice has 12 messages, not just to hype you up, not just to motivate you, but to remember you. To bring you back to your essence. You start to realize that your words are not just affirmations, they're blueprints. They don't just inspire you. They design you. Every time you say, I am powerful, you're not trying to convince yourself. You're reminding yourself of what you've always been. Every time you say today, I choose purpose over fear, you're reinforcing a path your brain can now walk throughout the day. Most people live their lives in reaction mode. They wait to feel good before they speak powerfully. But what if you reverse that? What if you spoke powerfully until you started to feel it? What if you chose to believe that your words weren't just reflections of your emotional state, but tools to shift it? When you tell yourself something over and over, your brain starts to look for proof. That's how the reticular activating system works. It filters reality based on what you've trained it to notice. So if you start your day saying, I am calm, I am focused, I am ready, your brain will begin to notice things throughout the day that validate calm, focus, and readiness. You're not just influencing your mood. You're training your biology to match your intention. And here's the truth. No one else is going to do this for you. No one else is going to wake up and speak life into you every day. That's your job. That's your gift. The world is already full of noise, distraction, and distortion. So your voice must be louder. Not louder in volume, but louder in truth. Louder in clarity, louder in alignment. It doesn't matter how yesterday went. It doesn't matter what happened last week or what's coming tomorrow. Every morning you're handed a blank page, and these 12 things you tell yourself, that's your pen. That's how you write the tone, the pace, the vibration of your day. You can choose to write a story where you're the victim of circumstances. Or you can write one where you're the conscious creator of it all. There is something incredibly powerful about looking yourself in the eyes and declaring truth, even when you don't fully believe it yet, especially then, because you're not affirming what already is. You're speaking what is becoming. You're aligning yourself with the future version of you that already exists, already confident, already abundant, already at peace. And bringing that energy into today. Every single morning is a chance to practice that, to get better at it, to become more fluent in the language of your future self. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to be intentional, be consistent. Be willing to speak life into yourself until it becomes automatic. Because the truth is, the way you start your day is the way you shape your destiny. Most people wake up and immediately plug into the same mental frequency they carried yesterday. They reach for their phones, scroll through notifications, and unconsciously step back into the same emotional cycle. Stress, worry, comparison, distraction, and they wonder why every day feels like a repeat of the last. But when you become aware of this pattern, you gain the power to break it. You realize that your first thoughts in the morning aren't just thoughts, they're signals, they're instructions. They either keep you stuck in old cycles or shift you into a new reality. Every affirmation, every word you tell yourself in those first moments of the day carries a frequency, and that frequency doesn't just stay in your head. It radiates through your body, your emotions, your energy field. Your words set the tone for your nervous system. So when you say, "I am safe," "I am supported," "I am aligned," you're not just speaking into the air, you're speaking into your cells. You're calming the chaos that may still linger from yesterday. You're rewiring the subconscious loops that would otherwise control your thoughts without your permission. This is the power of starting your day with intentional affirmations. It's not just about being positive. It's about shifting your internal state into coherence. Because when your mind, your heart, and your body begin to operate on the same elevated frequency, you move through your day with clarity. You stop reacting from old trauma. You stop chasing outcomes to feel worthy. Instead, you begin to radiate the exact energy that your desired life requires, and that's when things begin to shift almost effortlessly. You see, your body remembers. It remembers every belief you've ever repeated. It remembers the emotions you rehearse daily. So if you've spent years waking up and telling yourself stories like, "I'm not ready," "I'm behind," or "it's too late for me," your nervous system holds onto that script. It makes those thoughts feel normal, even though they're keeping you stuck. But here's the miracle: you can teach your body a new story. You can train your frequency to rise. You can choose every morning to rehearse a new identity. And that's exactly what these 12 affirmations are designed to do. When you begin telling yourself, "I am the creator of my reality," something begins to shift internally. That statement carries a vibration that disrupts victimhood. When you say, "I am abundant in every way," your energy field opens and your mind starts to search for proof of abundance. Because that's how your brain works, it follows the frequency you set. That's why you must choose your words before the world chooses them for you. It's not enough to think these affirmations passively. You have to feel them. You have to speak them with presence like they matter. Because they do, and even if you don't believe them yet, that's okay. The belief comes asterisk after asterisk the repetition. The transformation follows the frequency. You don't wait until your life looks the way you want it to feel worthy of saying these truths. You say them asterisk first. Asterisk, you say them while your world is still catching up. You say them while the evidence is still invisible, because that's how you create the space for the evidence to appear. This is how energy works. What you radiate, you attract, and your affirmations are a way to tune your signal. If you're not speaking life into your mornings, you're leaving your energy open to the same unconscious programming that got you here. But when you declare these 12 things every morning, you are no longer reacting to your past. You are broadcasting a new identity into the present, and you begin to notice something remarkable. People respond to you differently. Opportunities show up with less resistance. You make clearer decisions. You feel lighter, more centered, more powerful. That's not coincidence, that's coherence. You begin to feel more connected to the version of yourself who already lives in the future you desire. And that version of you isn't overwhelmed, isn't afraid, isn't hustling for validation. That version of you is steady. That version trusts. That version wakes up every morning and doesn't wait to asterisk feel asterisk good as they've already decided they asterisk are asterisk good. And they affirm it over and over until it becomes the only reality they know. This is what happens when you stop using your mornings to react and start using them to create. This is what happens when you turn affirmations into a ritual, into a frequency reset, into a nervous system upgrade. You don't just start the day, you asterisk own asterisk it, and from there your entire life begins to reflect the energy you've chosen to embody. When you wake up and speak the truth to yourself, you're not just boosting your mood, you're practicing self-leadership. You're stepping into the role of being the one who directs your inner world instead of being dragged around by the outside one. Most people think leadership is about guiding others, influencing crowds, or managing situations. But true leadership starts in the quietest moments when no one else is watching. When it's just you, your thoughts, and the decision to rise or retreat. The way you speak to yourself each morning is a declaration of how seriously you take that responsibility. It's you saying, I'm not waiting for circumstances to line up, I'm creating alignment from within. That's what makes those 12 affirmations more than just words. They're instructions to your subconscious. They're orders given to your mind, body, and emotions to get on board with your mission. Because that's what self-leadership is. It's choosing to act in alignment with your highest self, even when the old self is screaming louder. Every morning you get a chance to either drift into default programming or lead yourself into a new version of you. And your language is the access point. When you tell yourself, I lead myself with love, or I choose clarity over chaos, you're not simply speaking optimism. You're commanding your system to rewire. You're refusing to live in reaction, and that's where real power begins. Think about it, how many days have started with a flood of autopilot thoughts? You open your eyes, and within seconds, you're thinking about stress, unfinished tasks, things you don't like about yourself, or things that went wrong yesterday. Without even realizing it, you hand your leadership over to an outdated identity. You let your past tell you who you are today. But that cycle breaks the moment you interrupt it. That interruption happens when you choose your words with intention. You speak what you want to become, not what you've always been. You take charge. Leadership is a choice. It's a decision you make before the world decides for you. And every time you speak one of those 12 affirmations, you're reinforcing that decision. You're showing up for yourself with presence and precision. And over time, that becomes your identity. You begin to trust your voice more than the noise. You begin to follow your direction more than your doubt. Most people think confidence comes from success. But real confidence comes from self-integrity, from knowing you will lead yourself no matter what happens, and it starts in the morning. When you say, I am grounded in my power, or I trust my inner wisdom, you're laying the foundation for that inner integrity. You're creating a relationship with yourself that doesn't collapse under pressure. That relationship becomes your anchor in the middle of uncertainty. What you tell yourself in the morning is the first message your nervous system receives about who's in control. If you're passive, the world will take over. But if you're present, if you lead, you set the tone. You create a calm, strong, stable internal state, and that state becomes your guide throughout the day. You become less reactive, less desperate for external approval, and more anchored in your own truth. That's the shift. That's the quiet revolution. It's not flashy or loud, but it's powerful. When you lead yourself first, you no longer need to chase control outside of you. You become the authority in your life, and that kind of internal leadership naturally spills out into every space you enter. People feel it, they respond to it, but more importantly, you feel it. You start trusting yourself more deeply because you've shown yourself what it means to lead. You're not waiting to be chosen, you've already chosen yourself. You're not hoping the day will go well. You're creating the mindset that guarantees it can, and even when the day doesn't go perfectly, you stay steady. Because you're rooted in something deeper than the circumstances. You're rooted in the daily practice of leading your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. This is why what you say in the morning matters. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about reminding yourself that no matter what happens, you are in command. And when you say that out loud, when you affirm those truths to yourself, you're not only claiming the day, you're becoming the person who doesn't need anything outside them to feel whole, steady, and strong. There's a quiet but undeniable power in reminding yourself each morning that you are already enough. That nothing outside of you has to change in order for you to feel peace, worthiness, or wholeness. Because so much of what pulls us out of alignment in life is the illusion that we're missing something, that we have to earn, prove, chase, or fix before we can feel okay. And when we start our mornings in that lack, in that belief that we're behind or not doing enough, we set ourselves up to run all day trying to catch up with something that was never missing in the first place. You see, telling yourself, I am enough, is not about becoming complacent. It's about reclaiming your power from the conditions you've been taught to attach your worth to. You don't have to wait for the perfect job, relationship, body, or breakthrough to finally feel like you belong in your own life. That belonging starts the moment you decide to tell yourself that you're whole now. Not someday, not later, now. When you start your day from that place, when you sit still, take a breath, and affirm that you are already complete, you shift everything. You stop needing your day to go perfectly in order to feel good. You stop outsourcing your self-respect to how productive you are. You stop placing your emotional state in the hands of other people's approval. You take it back, you anchor it in you. This is why this practice isn't just about reciting words. It's about reprogramming an entire identity. Because most of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that we had to earn our worth. We had to achieve something, be something, fix something. And so we internalized that belief. We built a version of ourselves based on proving and pleasing, on fear of not being good enough. But when you wake up and speak the truth to yourself, that you're already enough, you disrupt that old code. You interrupt the pattern that's been running the show in the background for years. And in that moment, you reclaim your inner authority. Think about how different your choices become when you no longer feel the need to impress, compete, or defend. You become more grounded. You stop leaking your energy into anxiety. You show up in conversations without shrinking or overcompensating. You speak from your heart, not from your wounds. That shift starts the moment you remind yourself, before anything else in your day has happened, that you are already whole. And it's not about pretending. It's not about ignoring your growth or avoiding responsibility. It's the opposite. When you start from worthiness, your actions become more aligned. You move not to fix yourself, but to express more of yourself. You set boundaries not out of fear, but out of deep self-respect. You take care of your body not because it's broken, but because you love it enough to honor it. Everything changes when the foundation is worthiness. So when you say, I am whole, I am worthy, I am enough, let those words land. Don't just say them with your mouth. Say them with your presence, feel them in your body. Imagine what your day would look like if you really carried that truth with you. You wouldn't rush, you wouldn't panic. You'd walk into every room with a calm, quiet strength. You'd stop measuring yourself against other people's timelines. You'd know that what's meant for you can't be missed. Because you're not operating from lack anymore. You're rooted in truth, and even when old thoughts show up, because they will, thoughts that tell you you're not ready or that you have to do more to be enough, you won't believe them so easily. Because you've begun to build a new foundation. And that foundation gets stronger every time you repeat those words every morning, no matter how you feel. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about choosing to remember who you are again and again, until that remembrance becomes your default state. This is the essence of inner peace, not that life becomes easy, but that you no longer make your worth dependent on how easy or hard it is. You've already decided that you are enough. You've already returned home to yourself before the world had a chance to pull you away. And when you start your day like that, the world may still bring challenges, but you'll move through them with grace because your foundation won't shake. You'll look in the mirror not to critique, but to connect. You'll speak to others not to be liked, but to be real. You'll walk through your day not in search of validation, but in full expression of your truth. Because you've remembered, you've reminded yourself, as you do every morning now, that you are already whole. And that's the most powerful way to begin.